Hello, everyone. This is Melina and
Jordan.
we are the board certified BAes.
Yes, we are.
Coming back at y'all again.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
We switched sides, so now my neck
We
don't
did
cramp.
switch sides. We did. So we'll see how this feels. It feels like this is how we sleep. So maybe I'm supposed to be on this side.
I don't know. It's got to be flexible.
Anyways,
my neck doesn't turn that way usually.
yeah. How was your week?
That was not too bad actually.
Good. I'm glad.
Felt like a short week.
Speak
I don't know
for
why.
Yourself.
It's like, I don't know
for
why.
Yourself. Okay, but that's awesome. Let's see.
So what are we getting into today?
Today we are doing parent training in ABA. We call it PC.
What does PC stand for?
Parent consultation.
There we go. Try to trip you
Is that everyone? Does everyone call it that?
No, parent training,
No.
parent development,
Yeah.
parent consultation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think there's a lot. I think the insurance companies use parent training as the terminology.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's essentially what we're doing.
Okay, so we're going to jump right into that because this is a really important part of what we do.
Probably one of the most important parts.
Yeah. I think sometimes people forget that parent training is like a bridge. You know what I'm saying?
Is there more to the bridge?
Yeah. Okay. So
what does the bridge go to?
So this side of the bridge is like the beginning of ABA.
Okay.
This is parents when they start baseline. Boom. Then as as the kid learns, right? We're wanting to give parents the skills so that eventually they can do these things on their own so they don't need us. We're like Mary Poppins.
Okay.
A bridge. Anyways, Let's jump into questions.
I get it.
Okay, so what are the most effective strategies for involving parents in the ABA process?
Talking to them, actually being present with them. Mm-hmm. Let's start there.
Yeah.
If parents believe that they drop their kid off or we come to them and then poof bang in a year they don't need us anymore, or that their kid is going to be quote unquote cured, there's a problem.
Yeah. 100%. I love when I get to, it depends on the kiddo. Like sometimes, especially if they're not ready for parents to be in their session, then I feel like it's not a good idea because it might hurt more than it helps, especially if you're trying to get buy-in with parents. But what I will say is when a kid is ready or via online, it's really cool to have parents actually observe the sessions themselves as well. It can be tricky because I feel like for those that also deal with scheduling, right? Sometimes it's hard because maybe a parent is available at a certain time and maybe you don't have the strongest staff with your kids. So you're also like trying to juggle okay, who should I put here so we can really show what this kid is capable of, you know? So those are like little things that we may deal with in the background. But I think it's really awesome when parents are down to be in session, learning, seeing how the kid is learning. I think those are the most fun because then also you can always, what we say is like put parents in the hot seat, right? And get them doing it and seeing how they do it and tweak it with them and be like, you could try it like this at home, things like that. So bringing parents into session is super fun.
Yeah, it is. I love challenging and building and showing that parents can be successful too. I think parent training, the easy way is to be on telehealth and just talk to them. Be like, yeah, this is what this is called, and this is what this is, and this is what that is. But to be completely honest and transparent, the families that I've worked with, I don't think that they've been super excited about any of that. It's not meaningful. They didn't sign up. You know, parents didn't sign up to have all of these services, or like, oh yeah, I wanted to have my child to have all of this, or any of those sorts of things. So us throwing in just yet another thing can make things really hard where they just have to sit and learn or sit and train. And I also think that that's kind of boring. Yes, I do think every parent needs some sort of foundational like understanding, and that foundational understanding could be as simple as knowing what functions of behavior are, right? Knowing how to reinforce, how to catch good things, right? That there's some basic needs or expectations that have to be met for kids to grow with their parents as well. And so once we get past that, what do? You just talk to them about scenarios that have happened, what they could have done differently. Nah, put me right there next to them. Let's
Put me in,
do
coach.
this. Let's do it. We can do this together. And I can show you, like, the fastest way to success is them feeling, seeing, and adding to that success. And I think that that is where we should be
Yeah.
when we can. But again, like we talked about on one of the other episodes, supply and demand. We could seriously have enough BCBAs to do only parent trainings and parent consultations. Maybe. And I don't even know if the supply and demand is even, like, the supply for that demand is there. Because the other thing is too, is not all parents want that or have that kind of time. And so we have to deal with that side of things as well. But to be effective and have strategies with parents, we have to get in there and teach with them, help them learn, assess where they are. Just talking online or, reminiscing on hard times that have passed or good times that have passed. Right? There's a time and a place, but we're not going to help families grow because realistically, we have these clients or individuals for just a short time. If it's 4 hours out of the day, the other 20 is with parents.
Amen.
So they're their biggest advocate.
Yeah.
They're their best therapist, right? We got to help them fulfill that position.
Yeah. And so with that, how do you like address if there's like resistance or burnout in like the parents? Like they just really maybe feel like they can't take on anything else.
Yeah. That's just about meeting them where they are. We all have days where we feel burnt out. We all have days where work kicked our butts, right? Or something else is going on and we're split focused. But we really have to meet parents where they are. And I don't think that changes the strategy. I think that what it does do is it changes the dosage, right? How much we give them to do or how much we help them with at once. So that's what I mean by the dosage, but I don't think it changes the strategy that I would use. I still want to get in there. Okay, what's something that you're struggling with? What's going to be the biggest help for you right now? Right? I know you're tired. I know you're burnt out. I know you don't want to sign up and do something else. But what is one thing that we can take that you're doing right now that we can take off of your plate and have your child be able to do that part for themselves? Right? And coming at it from that way, I haven't had a parent be like, nothing. They're always got something that would make their life a little bit easier. And I've been working with a parent for nearly a year now, and they're like really starting to see the fruits of their labor, come out. And at first they're like, this is too much. I already have so much going on. Got other kids, got other therapies, got other things that I have to do. And I was like, absolutely, don't stop them. But, a question I actually asked them was like, when you get home at night, how long is it before you fall asleep on your pillow? How tired are you from all the things that you have to do? And they were like, I don't know how much longer I can take of it. It's like, it's too much. I have to take some stuff off the plate. It's like, okay, when we're ready to start talking, let's start taking some of that stuff off of your plate. But for right now, what's the biggest thing I can help you with? And just building from there and, watching them succeed and have success over this past year. And I would say even it's more so the last 6 months, because it's what it is. It's a process.
Yeah. And I think too, we talk about reinforcement all the time, but we don't talk about like reinforcement is important for parents as well, right?
And BCBAs and therapists.
Everyone, please know that we like reinforcement too. Yeah, it's important because if you're just sitting there telling the parent everything they're doing wrong, of course they're going to burn out, right? But if you're encouraging them as you go, as well as them seeing results firsthand of the things that they're doing with their kid, that's like the biggest reinforcement that they could possibly experience. And I feel like we see that where there's times where parents come in and they feel burnt out and then they put it to the test. And then, like the parent you were talking about, I feel like it sounds like that seeing the difference is the reinforcement. And that's what keeps them like coming back. and being consistent. Whereas I feel like maybe in the beginning, maybe it was harder for getting that consistency going. So if you don't reinforce the parents that you work with, even if you're RBT, even if you're a BT, like, you can still find pockets of time where you do this, like, oh, they came in super happy today, great, like, it's like awesome to see them like this, or like, I don't know, blah blah told me that you guys did that this weekend, oh, that's really cool, seem to like it, just things like that where you're encouraging parents. It doesn't have to be like about the behavior per se, but just in general. I feel like we should all be aware of, like, are we doing this enough? Because these parents, are used to being in spaces where they're probably often judged. If their kid can't sit and eat, or if their kid doesn't eat the food, or their kid doesn't speak up and talk because they can't, right? Like, they're used to being criticized, if anything. So making sure that we're finding times to, encourage and reinforce.
Sorry, just to add on to that, that also doubles when they start seeing that the kiddo's having success without them present. So it's like, oh,
what's the magic trick?
They do it so well with you, they won't do it with me. Or the same with at school and like other places that they go to. And so just validating that, they're doing this way, but here's the steps to get you to be able to do that. And being able to work with them on that, even if it is 10 minutes at pickup, like, hey, just come 10 minutes earlier and then I'm going to bring you back and this is what we're going to do. Right? And then everything's the same. Just taking what time that you can, because the parents a lot of the times are going to give you what they can.
Yeah.
Right. There are some parents out there that won't. We'll leave them where they are.
Yeah.
Right. But our goal is to do the best that we can for our kids and for our clients. And in order to do that, parents kind of need to be on board. So,
and I'll even say, as like a mom, that is one thing that is hard sometimes, is seeing your kid do some, like, just as like a mom of like a neurotypical girl, like, I feel like even then it's still hard when it's like, what, she'll eat that with you but she doesn't eat that with me, or what? And even as a BCBA, I know, like, expectation is set in place in like daycare or whatever, so I understand that logically, but as a mom it's still hard to hear, so let alone getting that constantly feedback of like, oh yeah, they're doing it here, oh yeah, they're doing it here with me, like, that's so hard.
It's hard to hear. And it's also the approach too.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, they have no problem with that. It's like, oh.
Versus, guess what they did today? Super cool. We're going to work on this so we can get it going as a team, or something like that, where it's like you're remembering that you and parents are on the same team. It's not, they're doing it here with us. I don't know why they're not doing it at home,
And there are times where I've worked on that specifically with parents, in terms of like, I can't get them to do that, so I don't think you will. And we get them there just to help the family be like, no, they can still learn. You said they can't do that. Well, they can do it with us. So now we're going to teach them to do it with you. And then we're going to help you to be able to facilitate that.
Generalization.
Exactly. Right. And so even going that way is, I've done it and being like, no, like you're not giving your child enough credit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you why you're not giving them enough credit, and then approaching it that way, and then teaching them how to do it. And then they're all of a sudden like sold.
Yeah.
And that's the other part too, is there's a lot of information on the internet. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it is.
My best friend and my worst enemy is WebMD.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But that's why I'm here to balance you out on that one.
I know.
But with parents, if they Google like, my kid now needs ABA, there's going to be so much that comes up. Don't do it.
God forbid
do
they
it.
get on TikTok.
Yeah, there's so much wrong with it. Yeah. It's bad. It's this, it's that. Yes, there's good and there's bad in everything. Not all agencies, not all BCBAs, not all individuals are made equal. First point blank there. But they're coming in with some negative thoughts, negative ideas. As clinicians, we got to get in there as soon as possible to show them that their kiddo has the ability to do more. They have the strength and the ability to endure and do more.
Yeah.
and we can be successful as a team. I think that if we don't do that, we run the risk of validating everything that they read that was negative about us in this field. And so getting in there as quick as possible allows that. I think for me, when onboarding, I should say, because I do the onboarding and do the assessments as well for bringing in new kiddos, I will talk to them about like, hey, what have you read about us? Like, what have you read about the field? What concerns do you have? Let's get in there. I want to be transparent. Let's see how we can help. And approaching it that way, parents have been really open, and like we'll have a good discussion during the assessment about expectations, what it'll look like, how we do things. And then I also tell them too that in the next couple of weeks, we're not going to have parent consultation unless you need it, unless you want something from us, more information, more something. I will gladly do that. But in the first couple of weeks, I want to take the time to really understand your child, and see if we can get some ideas on some things that we can do that can change behavior. And as we start to see those interests, start to see those expectations, start to see changes, then I want to start meeting with you in like the second to third week of us doing services, just so that I know them to some degree. And I'll never know them as much as you do, but I want to have a try at just getting to see what they can do as a neutral party.
Yeah.
And parents have been really receptive to that, because they appreciate, at least in the context that I'm coming from and who I've been talking to in the past, they appreciate that I'm going to take the time to get to know them and not just jump right into do this at home, do this, now do this, and now do this.
Yeah.
Because I'd be blanket goaling, right? I'd be just throwing goals or like giving blanket objectives to help families that might not know or understand or might not even work.
Yeah. It's almost like doctors that don't have great bedside manner. Like you just feel like a patient, and like you know that they've seen 60 already today and you're just another one. And it's something that's like really touchy and sensitive. I feel like that's what it feels when we don't approach PC the correct way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's true. Parents didn't sign up for this. Again, we talked about that on another episode. We talked about it this one. When they signed up to have a child, right? To go through this process, they didn't sign up for it. They may not have expected it, and now they might not understand it. And they look to us as the experts. The last thing that we can do is say that we are one, and that everything that I say is the way that it should be. It's the last thing we should do.
And no one wants to hear that someone may know their child more than they do.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That would break me, So I'm getting all emotional. I'm like, but anyways, so yeah, it's
true.
Different now being a BCBA and a parent.
Yeah. It honestly gives a different perspective
on everything.
When having our first and coming back to work, I was like, and seeing benchmarks and things, you do the Vineland assessments, you do all those assessments, you look at development, you get so excited about little pieces of change. And then I was like, I have got to work harder.
Yeah.
It's like I may be working harder at home. I need to push, I need to do better training with my therapist. I need to help and be in more sessions. I need. And like my drive to do better became even stronger.
Amen. I think I said that already earlier. Amen. Let the church say amen.
I think you did the snaps earlier.
Oh. Yeah. Well, anyways, that's all I got. But
this is a shorter one, but it's a heavy one.
Yeah. I hope you feel that. And again, if you're an RBT or a BT, BI, whatever you call yourself, I hope that you hear your part in this too, though. Like, you can also make a difference because you're oftentimes the one that's in contact with the parents. I'm not saying give behavioral advice. Don't do that because that's not your role. But what you can do is just be like, wow, blah, blah, blah mentioned today they had a really good time. Or be like, he was super happy when he came in. Just little things that show them they're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And then as BCBAs, making sure that we take PC like seriously, because I think a lot of people kind of prioritize it last. but it's just as important as everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you have families that are asking questions and trying to do stuff and get on board, they're so fun to work with.
Yeah, and if you're a BCBA that's like, I don't like PC, get over yourself.
Dang.
Honestly, because it's part of your job.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Very straightforward, unlike you, but very true.
Anyways, y'all.
We're not in it for us.
Okay, fun question. What do you want to do for your birthday this year?
I forgot I was having one.
Yeah, it's coming up soon-ish. Soon-ish. No, soon. Next month. Oh my gosh. Yeah, next month.
Do a podcast?
No.
Jump out of a plane?
No, I knew you were going to say that. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, thank you
I'll
guys
never
for
get the
tuning
gift
in.
I actually want.
We will see you next time. Have a good one.
Bye for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in.